Hey, tonight is my first try of a brand that's been around for a while. A Scottish brand called Castle Forbes. And this is the scent that's 1445. And it is a fern and grasses with lavender, tarragon, lemon, and bitter orange. We'll see how that guy goes. This is a CravingShaving handle, white on the bottom, that quickly changes to blue, really pretty. And it's kind of new to me, and so I'm trying to decide if I like the ergonomics. It's got a lot of valleys that are kind of deep, and they kind of shove my fingertips into this area here. Don't know if I like that or not, or if it's something I'll get used to and it won't matter. But second thing I'm looking at on this one, this is a Manchurian knot that's only maybe 4 uses old, 5 uses maybe. And so I'm hoping that it relaxes a bit in the backbone department. So we'll do that. Right now I'm going to put it for soaking for just a few minutes. A lot of badgers don't require soaking. I have found one that does, and that's the a similar knot to this, the Manchurian from that darn Rob. And this guy just gets noticeably softer when he's in water. And so if you don't soak it, you start to feel it by the third pass. You're like, where did this softness come from? But if you pre-soak it for a while, then you get it at the first pass. Some people are adamant against soaking their badger brushes. And, you know, whatever floats your boat there. But I soak mine. All right. This is a Gillette Tech head, and you can tell by the holes, the drain holes right there, that kind of have a triangle point to them here, these 4 slots, that it's the pre-war Tech. And I like it a lot. I like the way it shaves. It's efficient, but really comfortable and smooth. And this is a Maggard's handle that I think just really goes with the look really well. I don't know why, but it just does for me. This Balzano blade, I think maybe we're on this will be the 4th use of it. And my last use with a Timeless was a Timeless bronze. There are other blades that are more comfy. But I mean, it worked, and it gave me a great shave. And so that's one where you can choose. What do you want? You want comfort, or you want an awesome shave? An awesome shave. And so there's that. But I wonder if I keep using this guy, if he's going to change and get smoother, because blades do that. So I decided, let's bring him to a renowned smooth shaver. And let's see what happens in this guy. All right. Throw a little water on my face. Less than 24 hours of beard growth. Usual shave bowl lately. Computer printed, 3D printable bowl. The files are in my description if you are interested and have access to that kind of thing. So this is a cream. It's not marketed as a crope, but it's definitely marketed as a cream, and we will talk more about that because it's expensive. It's like $40 for a tub of it. I'm just gonna, this is a little bit more than 1/8 of a teaspoon, because this is a 1/4 teaspoon measure, but I don't know how much it takes to use. I smell the lavender. I do smell the grasses and the fern. Yeah, maybe the lemon. So we'll see what happens when it gets wet. So with these samples, they're too small. If you're new to working with samples, those little tubs are just much too small to actually lather in. And so you take a bit of it and you spread it around the bottom of a loading bowl, a lather bowl in my case. And there we go. So it's $40 for a tub, roughly, if you buy it new. And you say, that is crazy. There's no way I'd pay that much. And you'd be right. If you're comparing it to maybe a $17 tub that maybe only lasts you 2 or 3 months. However, internet sources say this soap lasts more than that. It's very concentrated, and so you'll get a lot more use than you think out of it. Some people say 6 months. And so if you actually get 6 months out of it, I did the math, little under $7, about $6.67 per month for your shave soap. And if it gives you a legendary lather for that cost, then I say that might just be a really good idea. If it only lasts you 5 months, that's looking like about $8. So when you consider that it goes farther than your average tub, and you consider the price per shave, then it's not really an expensive soap. I mean, sure, it's more expensive than something like Williams or Arco, something like that. You know, it's more expensive than Prix de Provence, where that $15 puck can last you a whole year. But compare it to wonderful makers like Barrister and Mann and Holy Cow and Declaration Grooming, and it's actually pretty competitive. So let's see what kind of lather this gives us. Because if it's going to last a while, then I believe it's going to need to be more efficient than just requiring a 1/4 teaspoon. Because that's the same amount that Barrister and Mann requires. So I was hoping that by reducing the soap used, I would be able to show us that. Oh yeah, I think that bitter orange, wasn't able to discern that before in dry form, and it looks like it's coming together really nicely. Refilling my syringe, and I'm even going to put in, so now we've got 2.5 teaspoons. Many notes online, compliments online with it being a quality top-notch lather. Sometimes I believe in the shaving world, when people get suckered into buying something really expensive, kind of like the Emperor's New Clothes, they say that it's awesome because they just need to justify that they made a mistake about an overpriced product. But I think when enough people do it, you maybe can rule that out, so that might be the case here. 3 teaspoons now. Sure is looking good. Four teaspoons in there now. That orange and lemon really jumping out. The lavender's kind of backing off just a little bit. Yeah, a little bit of grassiness to it. There's a lime scent in this same line of products. There's a sandalwood and cedarwood. I was reading and kind of research, because I like sandalwood, so that I actually ordered a sample of that. This one and that one were the two samples I ordered from Mag or Razors. Yeah, see, it's looking good. And in smelling the puck, I smelled a very familiar scent. Just kind of standard lumber scent. And very little, almost no sandalwood. And as I read on that particular scent, I read that one person said that it's very common for European makers to use a cedar that is really more like what Americans smell when they are in, you know, Lowe's or Home Depot, your home improvement stores. And it's just the scent of lumber, and that's a different type of cedar than what Americans really think of as cedar. And so, and I have smelled that in a few different soaps, and now I guess I know why, because that's just the custom of the kind of cedar that they use. Yeah, this is looking really good. This is plenty of lather. I'm pretty confident to do the job. Look at that. So let us kind of grab some. It's kind of watery. This will be really interesting. I don't know if I have over watered it or if it's not yet quite coming together. I'm probably over watered it, to be honest, but we'll just see. All right, let's shave with it and see what happens. Maybe I expected too much out of it. I'm not even gonna wet my face again, because I think maybe it has plenty of moisture in there. So that is 5 teaspoons of water, quite a bit for a little bit more, maybe 2/3 of a, I'm sorry, quarter teaspoon measure, 2/3 of that. All right, let's see what we get. Oh, I pick up that citrus right now, the lemon. What we may be testing tonight is what this base does when you overwater it. Doesn't look like I underwatered it, and then it just needs, you know, some more water to activate it. Usually that acts a little bit more dry by this point, so I think I overshot. All right, so, and this guy is staying with the backbone, not splaying very much at all. Difficult to keep in splay. I think sometimes that happens with the overly wet lathers and the backbone itself. If it was a really creamy lather, it might be a little easier. Yeah, it's available. So I'd say maybe a 4 or 5 out of 10 in terms of scent strength. All right, let's see what this Balzano does. Now this Maggard handle's super grippy. I'm not going to drop this even if I have a soapy, wet handle. Wow, there was some tugging right there. I don't know what that was, but now it seems to be fine. I wonder if it could have been a brush hair or something like that. I love this old tech head. Just light touch. Nice. And rinse. Actually felt some pretty good slick creaminess there during that rinse, so that's encouraging. And I had great glide with the razor, so it may be too wet, but doesn't mean it's a lather that won't perform. This is going on a little better. These tips aren't super soft. I may give this guy a good long soak next time and see if it's like the other Manchurian, where the tips just need, you know, they may be the kind of tips that will eventually gel, and so maybe they just need a little bit more soak time to soften them up. See, this lather is a little bit more normal. Very interesting. Could be also the oils on my face combated that first lather. Yeah, this blade is definitely more rough with this head than most other blades that I've tried. Just by, you know, it's a noticeable amount, but it's not a lot, meaning that, you know, if I had to shave with these blades for the rest of my life, I'd be fine with it. Especially, I bet, when I let enough uses gather up for the blade. Interesting. All right, rinse. And final pass. It looks like I'll have enough lather to do the job. And not too much more than that. Don't quite have a super full brush, but that'll be plenty. I mean, so enough for a touch up there, I'm sure. Don't think I'll need it though. So, will you be able to go 6 months on this? If Barrister and Mann will let you go, you know, 2 or 3 months by the 1/4 teaspoon that I was using, that I find necessary, then I'm not thinking this will go 6. So I'd say maybe 4 or 5 would be my guess. And so that's looking like the kind of more like the $8 price point per month, maybe a little bit more if it was $9 a month. And you enjoyed the scent and the shave, then that seems reasonable. That's not too bad, right? I mean, there's cheaper options out there. I think I like the scent. I like the greenery that's there. I think the bitter orange and the lemon, those citrus scents really come in and help me to like it. Just increase the kind of complexity of the blend, make it a little bit more friendly. And it keeps that lavender from being kind of girly, floral, hospital, funeral home type scent. All right, third pass. I'm getting very good glide here. So again, I may have definitely rinsed, I may have watered it down too much, but that doesn't mean that it's not a usable soap to protect my skin and give me a good shave. This Balzano is giving me a little bit of irritation, and I'm pretty confident that it's the blade and not the lather, based on past experience. So I don't think I expect too much from that cedarwood and sandalwood scent. I think it'll just be, you know, like essence of Lowe's Home Improvement lumberyard, you know. But we'll try it pretty soon. And final rinse here. So I did stir up some irritation in terms of feelings, as well as a little bit of redness right there. I bet it'll be going pretty quick, so not really a big deal. And so for me to keep the Balzano around, it's going to need to change itself in the near future and become more smooth. But a friend of mine online has taken his Balzano to 100. Maybe I couldn't do anything like that. You know, blades are different per person. But I figure I'd give it a little bit more than a fair shake because of that history. In terms of the wetter lather that I just experienced, I'm not gonna put it up on the ladder quite so high as all the recommendations that I saw online. A lot of them said there's just not a better cream that you can get. Again, I'm not a big cream guy anyway. I like a harder soap because I have a large soap collection, and I think the creams aren't going to last quite as long as the more solid soaps, and so I tend not to have those because I don't want to buy stuff and have it go to waste. And so I've tried Taylor of Old Bond Street and a couple other creams, and to be honest, the performance I just got wasn't, you know, I don't know that I'd put it above many of the croaks that I've already experienced from some of the makers that I mentioned, like Declaration, Barrister and Man, even Lisa's Natural Herbal Creations. She's got such a slick base. Grooming Department has a nice base. Oleo is awesome. Noble Otter, you know, just a bunch of makers. The new Southern Witchcrafts and Storybook soaps. They have new bases that are just tremendous, and so to say that it's, you know, to say that this beats everything, I definitely would not make that claim. However, I will also want to make a more educated claim by reducing the water next time I use this base and see what I get. You know, definitely want to make it fair. So I'll do that. A little bit more cleaning. And so, yes, I did use 5 teaspoons of water for that 2/3 of the 1/4 teaspoon measure. Balzano did not play super nice with the tech head. That was my thought was, let's put it in a kind of a mild razor and see what happens. And so I'll experiment with some other razor next time I use it and see what happens. I do have some irritation in that spot I told you about. It's, oh, there may be a very slight weeper right there. But I bet a balm will fix it. Let's go down and see what I've got down there. Oh, hey. Post-shave softness of the face is pretty good with this one. I'm not drying out or anything like that. None of that tingling. A little bit of an itchy feeling, but I'm almost sure that's related to the little bits of irritation that I might have. So I'll just throw on some balm and we'll see what happens. Crazy sale several months ago, maybe a year ago, and I wanted to try the Sapone de Paulo balm, and this is Terroso, which it says is amber, patchouli, and oak. It did separate after having been stored for several months, And so I did shake it up. It seems very thin and kind of liquidy. And now why not? Let's try it out. Wow, that is like almost like milk. Let's give it a shot. I'm about to go to bed anyway, so I don't have to smell it too often. This one, yep, there's that kind of woody. I wouldn't say it's oak. I'd say it's more of a like a conifer, a fir or a balsam, something like that. So we'll see if that does a good job. I've got the orange one of this down below as well. Now that one I enjoy a good bit more. I don't think there's a reason to keep this around. I mean, if you're looking for like a Christmas tree scent or something like that, then it's never me. All right. We will, so yeah, I did pick up the main notes, the fern, the grasses, the lavender. I don't know what tarragon is, so I'm not able to discern that one. But the lemon and the bitter orange, citrus type scents. To me, I wouldn't have a problem using it if I was stuck on a desert island or something like that. But there's so many other scents. This one almost doesn't really feel too connected. I mean, the scents do work okay together, but it just doesn't seem to be joining together in something that I really value. And so maybe the scent might not be for me. Now there's a lime is apparently a really popular favorite of theirs, and they have a lavender. I'm definitely not into the pure lavender. Might do some research on the lime and see if it's got any interest to it, or it's pretty straight lime. If it's just a straight lime, I don't think I'd bother. But I may not bother anyway, because I just don't think it may be too much better than, you know, like some of the good stuff we already have. I was not enjoying that balm I just put on. The fir and it just pine tree, spruce or whatever, it just wasn't a good scent. I wasn't enjoying it. So I found an orange that I brought in, and orange and cedarwood is a somewhat popular combination, and so it definitely did soften up the harshness of what I don't like about that scent. So that was cool. So the Balzano, I'm interested to see if a razor blade in the early stages, like maybe the first 12 uses, if a razor blade that's like that in this kind of harsh, touchy, not comfortable, if it's that way in this first dozen shaves, could it become a favorite or enjoyable later on? Or is it going to just stay in a bad way? And so I'm interested in finding that out. So as we watch this Balzano, now who knows, I could also stumble upon a razor that uses the Balzano in a better geometry that works better for my skin. So that's possible as well. Now I'm also going to suspend any kind of firm comments about this particular cream and remind you that I did overwater it. User error. I'll back off on the water next time, and we'll see if all of a sudden I find it to be as phenomenal as everybody else is saying it is. The irritation hasn't really gone away too much, but it's still very minimal, very easily dealt with. It's not too much of an issue, but it's there. And so there are definitely many other blades that do easily well better for me than the Balzano. And so we'll just see. For the sake of science, I will keep trying it in some different razors, and we'll see if it changes over time. Because who knows, maybe its composition, maybe its internal structure is better suited for long-term use. And so maybe it's one that I could even take further than my current Nasset, which is at 150 shaves. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But enjoying my shaves for now. You take care. I hope there was something here for you that helped you out. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. Good night.